What if the end times don't start the way you think they should? What if we do have to flee? This is Off the Cuff, and I'm Steve from TorahFamily.org. Let's talk about it. So many opinions about the end times, and everyone has the correct understanding on how it's all going to play out. But what if your current view is wrong, and we do have to take some kind of action when things begin? Have you ever pondered that thought? You see, over the years, I've made multiple teachings on the end times, showing how all believers are required to do something when we see the sign of Yeshua's return. And that something is to go out to meet him as given here in the parable of the 10 virgins in Matthew 25. More and more people are starting to see that all believers are going to have to go through at least the first 5 seals before the resurrection. And it's where we spend this time that will determine what we have to go through. Many are realizing Yeshua never said we'd be taken before it all starts. In fact, they're realizing he gave instructions of what to do when we see things begin. And what do? We flee. Those in Jerusalem are given specific instructions to flee to the mountains when they see the abomination of desolation and Jerusalem being surrounded. Yet, in the parable of the 10 virgins, we see the wake-up call telling them all to come out to meet him, showing there is something for everyone to do at his return. Thus, Luke 21:36 tells us to pray we have the strength to escape it all. Will you have the strength to leave it all behind? To cut yourself off from everything in the world? It may come at a time when many won't want to leave. Thus, we have to pray for the strength to leave it all behind. In fact, there's a part of me that wonders if things will turn around in the world and make it look as if everything is looking up, giving a feel as if it's going to be okay, making it all the more harder for people to want to escape what's coming because things won't appear as they need to escape, which could create a desire to stay content in the world system like Lot's wife struggled with. But back to the topic at hand. Under the possibility of needing to physically escape all that which is coming, what do we do? Where do we go? I believe there are several possible answers. One's not better than the other. It simply depends on what Yahweh, God, has for you. The important thing is to make sure you do what he tells you to do. Don't do something because someone else is doing it. This is where all of us need to pray for discernment on what he wants from each of us. So, let's look at a few considerations. First, we have those who are called the preppers. And there are 2 categories to the preppers. Those who live on a location that's completely off-grid, and those who are preparing a place to flee to that's completely off-grid. I would liken these to that of Abraham and Noah. Then we have those who plan to bug out at the last minute. While a category of those like Noah are very similar to this group, the difference is that this group has little to no provisions, much like that of Lot leaving at the last minute with little, or for some people, nothing with them. The last group would be those who choose to bug in. This means they plan to lock up the doors and stay in their homes until the time comes for Yeshua to take them. Now, as I go over these in a little more detail, please know that just as much as I believe in divine protection, I also believe in divine judgment. Meaning, if you don't have the hand of Yahweh protecting and leading you, it doesn't matter what you do. Judgment is coming your way. Thus, spiritual preparation is more important than any physical preparation. Period. Because if you're ready spiritually, you will always be in the middle of His will. However, if you aren't spiritually ready, you can lose all your preps in a moment. So the first thing to do is to make sure your heart is right with Yahweh and you're walking in obedience to Yeshua in every aspect of your life. Remember, if we don't purify ourselves now, He'll purify us in the days of judgment. My concern is that many aren't seeking the Father in this area and haven't truly considered what they would do if such a time came. Thus, when the time comes, they'll have no clue what to do. So please, take this to heart just in case we have to do something. Now, let's briefly go over the different possible options. Depending on who you talk to, there is no right one. You'll find pros and cons to each perspective. And I'm not here to tell you which one is best either. Just giving us things to consider with their biblical examples. First, we have the prepper group. I consider these divided in two separate groups. Those like Abraham and those like Noah. First, those like Abraham. Those who have no desire to live in the city. This is one reason why many have their own homestead. When everything goes down, they're ready. They're out of the city, and many are off-grid. It's lots of hard work and dedication, yes, but they're ready. They're always ready, with all their preps right where they need them. However, not everyone is able to just pick up their life and go live off-grid. Their job simply doesn't enable them to do this, which takes us to the next group, those like Noah. Those who prepare a place off-grid, but it isn't their home. Again, lots of hard work and dedication. When the time comes, though, they have a place to go. And though it won't be home and have all they may want, it's a place out of the city with provisions. I was recently shown a video that's on TikTok that shows 400 families just moved into a cave system carved into a mountain. Now, exactly who those people are and how they got access to a cave system in a mountain is beyond me. But that just goes to show my next point. Not everyone has property for preparing a bug-out location. While you can team up with those who may have property to prepare, it's still not something everyone has access to. Which takes us to those who plan to bug out at the last minute. This group has provisions, but not much. Some can bug out for up to 2 weeks. However, the norm is just 3 to 7 days. They have backpacks and suitcases with camping equipment ready to go at a moment's notice, which is good, but it has its limitations. And then we have those who plan on bugging in. Those who plan on locking themselves in their homes when everything hits the fan. Can the Father protect them? Absolutely. This is very similar to the night of Passover in Egypt. They were all told to stay in their houses till morning. So these people simply plan on staying locked in their homes till Yeshua returns. They have preps in their houses to last them as long as they can. I know some would say staying in your house just makes you a sitting duck, but that's not exactly true. Yahweh knows how to protect His people no matter where they are. But if you do plan on bugging in, don't leave the house. I would even suggest to not even open the doors or the windows. The immediate question that comes up is, if Yahweh can protect you no matter where you are, then why leave at all? There are verses that can support each perspective. You have Noah, Joseph, and Abraham supporting the various stages of the preppers. You have Lot supporting those who want to bug out at the last minute. And you have Passover in Egypt supporting those who want to bug in. The bottom line is, we have to pursue what our Heavenly Father is leading us to do. There's a purpose for each perspective. We may not be able to make sense of it all right now, but that's not our job. Our job is to obey what the Holy Spirit puts on our hearts, not on what He's telling others to do. Don't focus on what others are doing. Focus on what is He telling you to do. And if you're out there saying, well, He's not telling me what to do yet, then start asking Him. Say, what should I do? This is something we all need to be open to. If He doesn't answer and you're still concerned with it, then keep asking. One time, He will answer and He'll give you peace on what you're to do. So, let's consider what we read in Isaiah 26, verse 20. Go, my people, enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a little while until His wrath has passed. See, Yahweh is coming out of His dwelling to punish the people of the earth for their sins. The earth will disclose the blood shed upon her. She will conceal her slain no longer. First, please notice how this has Passover hints in it, showing how Yahweh comes in judgment and His people are in their rooms. Thus, one more reason that points to a Passover timing. If you haven't, I encourage you to see our teaching titled, Will the End Start on Passover? Now, this verse opens up by saying, Go, my people, enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Now, no matter where He leads you to go, the bottom line is that you need to go. And this goes right in line with Yeshua's parable with the 10 virgins, telling them to go out to meet Him. They're going out to wait for Him to take them. And when we look back at the verses in Isaiah, we see the instructions to go out and hide themselves comes right after the promise of the resurrection in verse 19. Then the following verses tell them what to do when the time comes for them to wait for that moment, just as the virgins go out to wait for that moment as well. But again, it all comes down to following what the Father puts on your heart. Not what He's put on somebody else's heart, what He's putting on your heart. If you join someone in preparing a place, great. Just remember it's their place. That means they're in charge, not you. You're the guest, they're the owner. But whatever you plan to do, the question that often gets brought up is how long will we be there? I've gone back and forth on this myself. My current thoughts are either 40 days, the 50 days from first fruits to Shavuot, that being Pentecost, 6 months, or a year. Now, give me some more time and I might find a new number to throw in there. But I currently lean the most to the 50 days from first fruits to Shavuot, that being Pentecost. But ask me again tomorrow, I might say a year. Now, I want to say you can't blame someone for not wanting to share their provisions. They've been working diligently in preparing for this very moment. A quick reply is normally something like, but Steve, they should trust the Lord and share. Well, they have been trusting the Lord. They've been trusting His voice all this time and hearing Him say to prepare for their family. And that same phrase, they should trust the Lord, can be turned right around and placed right back on those who haven't prepared. They need to start trusting the Lord now. You can't fault them for turning people away who haven't been preparing. In fact, they have the parable of the 10 virgins supporting them in this. They can honestly say, we may not have enough because we don't know how long it will be. It may be just 50 days. It may be a year. It may be the whole 3.5 years. We really don't know. I've heard people say that prepping is a waste of time. That might be. But what if it's not? And again, don't fault those who did prepare for not sharing their oil if you find out it wasn't a waste of time. There have been some who've said Yahweh is preparing safe havens all around the world. And that's very possible. I can see that. There's been a side of me that even wonders if these safe havens will be utilized by survivors who escape after going through much of the tribulation. The Father may lead those who missed the resurrection to these places. Thus, Yahweh could be using those who are prepping these locations for actually other people, those who will join other survivors for the second Exodus afterwards. It's very possible Yahweh may even provide them with manna, just as he did with the children of Israel in the wilderness. Time will tell. In conclusion, I want to bring us back to what I said at the beginning. You can be fully prepared physically for the worst case scenario one can imagine. But if you aren't prepared spiritually, all your labor of preparing will be in vain. Thus, spiritual preparation should be our first priority. Pray about this subject. Don't fret, don't worry. Seek the Father. If you can, find others to team up with. But the biggest thing in all of this is to seek Yahweh's leading. Well, that's all I have. Think about it. Pray about it. But more than anything, be a doer of the word and not a hearer only. Until next time, Shalom.